Welcome back! Remember in the last video I mentioned that the colors of the blocks were actually going to be important later on? Well, in this level we figure out why. Note that we've got a red block here, and we've got this red panel below it. And when we push the block onto the panel, this red barrier drops. Now note that this barrier is actually a different type of barrier than the toggle variety that we saw in the last video that was triggered by buttons. This one is actually square instead of round. Now we got a yellow one over here, but pushing one block onto the panel doesn't trigger it, so maybe we have to push all of them. Let's see if we can hold it down too. Looks like we can, but we need to pass through, so let's just use that. And here we get some blue and, I'm about to say purple, but they're actually green. Now we can try to press the green ones onto the blue ones, but that won't actually have any effect at all, so let's just put them where they belong. One thing I really enjoy about this is that this actually introduces the Sokoban elements into the game with relative ease without actually having to resort to using things like traps and trap buttons, which is really neat. Oh, looks like we got a conversation. Yeah, that was a fun one. Well, at least going back is an option. I was worried that Woop was going to make us his prisoner and we'd have to build levels for the rest of eternity. So this level is basically the introduction to invisible walls and fake walls. And although we've had fake walls earlier on, they were kind of there as Easter eggs. We didn't really learn about them. And you'll notice that much like the fake walls, the invisible walls are distinguishable from the floor. They're also all appearing walls. There are no permanently invisible walls in this game, unlike the original Chips Challenge. Now, in this block of fake walls, you'll notice that whenever we change the formation of the walls that are next to them, new walls can sometimes sprout up, which looks pretty awesome, I gotta admit. Like, there's a better example, you can see it a little bit more easily. Alright, let's move onward. Looks like we got more conveyor madness here, and a new enemy. Uh-oh. And it looks like we found the blob equivalent. I'm going to start this over, because I don't really want to exit through a fake wall like that. That's right, these things are called Omnis, and basically they operate like blobs, although unlike the Lynx equivalent of blobs, they're not... Whoa, 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 whoa. They don't, bump into walls and stuff like that. They go only where they can go. And this next one is basically all about teleports. Now, there are actually two types of teleports in this game. There are blue ones, which are these ones, and these operate like the Chips Challenge teleports, and there are also red ones, and I'll show those to you later on. This also introduces us to thin walls as well. And you'll notice that there are thin walls for the corners in every single possible corner shape. And this is because you can actually combine thin walls in this game. You can actually combine all manner of elements into a single tile, as long as all of them are on the same plane, so to speak. So, unfortunately, there are certain combinations that were possible in Lynx that you can't do here, like enemies on doors, for instance, and things like that. And looks like this one introduces us to more enemies. Yeah, something to eat sounds good. No, I don't want a banana. Yeah, burger, that sounds awesome. What's y'all's favorite burgers, by the way? I like Five Guys a lot. Five Guys is my favorite. There's also this place in California, in my hometown, it was called Nations, and they had amazing burgers. They were kind of like Five Guys. I don't want vegetables, seriously? Come on, Woop. So, these monsters are basically like the bugs and paramecia of Chips Challenge. They follow the right wall, these ones do at least, and I just totally died. I'm gonna go ahead and just restart. The green ones are very much like the Paramecia. They're called, I think each of them are called Limpa and Limpy, respectively. I don't really remember which one's which, though. And these red ones are basically like the bugs. I like how they only have one leg. Pretty cool design. And here we get more fun with blocks. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned yet is that you don't really see the title of the level down here or anything like that, and as you probably noticed, you can see it only from the pause screen. Kind of a bummer though, because I really liked how you could see the title when you start the level in Ship's Challenge, but it's just a minor quibble. And here we get more blocks into water action. You'll notice that these blocks don't make dirt, they just automatically fill in the water. And we also get introduced to bombs here. We can blow up a bomb with a block, much like in the original CC. And here we get to experiment with ice blocks and fire. You'll notice that when we push the ice block into the fire, it makes water, but we need something we can actually traverse. So let's go ahead and move these into place. There we go. And we even have a leftover block, which is nice. Very considerate of the designers. Now here are the guys I mentioned earlier, the teeth equivalents. These guys are called snappies, and they will follow you, unlike the nibbles. But thankfully all we have to do is just run to the exits. Okay, what awaits us next? Uh-oh, what is this stuff? Three-dimensional? Phew? What? How is that possible? Thanks. I'll take that as a compliment. Now, this level introduces us to slime, and yes, it is toxic, but thankfully, the nice thing about it is that you can push blocks right through it and eliminate it, which is really cool. But we need to get over to the exit there, and if we tried to push this over, then we get blocked, so we're going to need the block from earlier to actually make it. There we go. All done. Not bad at all. And we get introduced to a new type of enemy. Basically this guy here just bounces back and forth. It's just like the pink ball from Chip's Challenge. And I think they're called bouncers, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you for that. And here we slide up to get one of these nail things. Whoops. And we are done. Uh-oh. This looks interesting. Yeah, I could stand to look younger even though I'm young. Whoops. Let's see, so how do we get to the exit here? We're gonna need to clear some space. Thankfully though, that shouldn't be too bad. I think all we really need to worry about is just doing that, and then we can just slide these out of the way. There we go. Ooh, this looks a little more interesting. So yeah, where exactly are we? What? So... Oh, okay. So basically this is a pretty basic Sokoban puzzle. Not a very cramped one, which is pretty nice because it helps the player get used to pushing blocks in confined spaces. And these blocks we can't move at all since they're all clumped together like this, so we have to circumvent them. And go this way. There we go. Alright, so we get introduced to red teleports in this level. Alright, well we got the fish gates down, but we can't get to the exits. That is a real shame, you know? I was really hoping we can get to the exit. Now, in the original Chips challenge, you'd have to partial post this right here, but in this game, the red teleports work such that when you do this, you bounce back. This can make for some rather confusing teleporting, but I don't believe the blue ones operate the same way. If somebody knows otherwise, please let me know, but I think the blue teleports work like the Chips ones do. And it looks like on this level we got a lot of fish to collect, but we can't really see most of them. Though I have a sneaking suspicion about where they are. Yep, they're under the blocks. So this is the lesson that teaches you that there are items under blocks, essentially. So I'm just going to try to carefully maneuver them around so that we can get all the fish on the edges and get to the exit all in one piece, hopefully. Hopefully we won't drown. There we go. Alright, so now we've got all the fish on the edges. At this point, all we need to do is just get the rest of these and then just get out of here. There we go, and thankfully we didn't die. This looks rather curious. We got a bunch of these blue toggle walls, but we've also got a bunch of snappies over there waiting to chase us as soon as we unlock the path to the exit, and it looks like it's not going to be quite as clear. Another hint. Alrighty, let's go ahead and do this. This one's a little bit harder than the previous level with the snappies, but thankfully it's not that bad. Whoa, what is this all about? Looks like we got some new monsters here, and these guys seem to just turn around and around. They seem to turn left whenever they hit an object. And they aren't affected at all by the ice, they just treat it like normal floor. That's rather curious. So let me get this block onto here. And it looks like I'm going to ultimately need to get over to that nail over there. And we also got ice blocks. And we can push them around and disrupt the flow of these guys, but I don't want to do that. They look so cool when they're cycling around. Man, I gotta remember to go back this way and not go into the water over there. There we go. Gotta admit, it's nice to see a bigger level. Alright. Our work is done. I'm really gonna miss you, Chuck. Me too, Woop. Here's something to remember me by. Other than my great games, of course. I love it! And here's something to remember me by. You said you wanted to look younger. Yeah, but not stupid. Suit yourself, monkey boy. Alright, so we have beaten Asida. All the levels are complete, and we'll continue with Bibinka in the next video.